So do you ever wonder why it's so hard to make friends midlife? According to one study, the average age we meet our best friends is 21. Well, typically Americans only spend 41 minutes a day socializing, and it's estimated that it takes more than 200 hours for a stranger to grow into a close friend. And I can only imagine with isolation and the pandemic, it's been even harder. Jeff, have you thought that it's been harder to make friends as you've gotten older?
No, I think it's harder to get rid of some of my old friends than it is to make new ones. So that's what I'm trying to do as I get older.
You're trying to cleanse.
Listen, I'm blessed to have great group of friends growing up with, college friends, all different stages of my life friends. I'm very blessed in that aspect. But I think this is for me personally, as I get older, you're less tolerant of people. So if I'm meeting a new person or a new couple and they want to go out to dinner and they're late or they're complaining to the waiter, I'm out. I don't need any more friends. You know what I mean? But my friend Tony, who I grew up with since I was a little kid, he's always late. I hate him for it, but I love him. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to take on a new friend that's always late. That's one of my pet peeves.
And Al, you have a saying. What's your saying? You've said it on the show before.
No new friends. And it sounds very harsh, but I think a lot of people in the studio have adapted it, and it sounds harsh, but honestly, if you think about it, you should and can be friendly and courteous to everybody that you encounter. But I use the friend word very, 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 I rarely use it because when I call you a friend, it's a different level of trust between us. So I want to be friendly with a lot of people, but not friends with many. So it's a tough thing, but it's hard to meet people, Erica, when you're older because I don't know, you don't want to be weird, you know? Isn't that, like, you don't want to be like, hi, I'm the guy from the mall. Do you want to hang out? And you're like, what? No, it's weird.
Okay, you made some points, Al. You made some points. I think that you were on to something in terms of what does friendship mean to you? And I think that's where people really get lost and use the word friend so willy-nilly. It's like, if a friend to you is someone who is accessible to you 24/7, then you need to find someone who is equally as codependent.
Yes.
When we are older, we're very much set in our ways and our lifestyles. I mean, a lot of things can change the dynamics of that. What type of profession you have and what hours you work. If you have children versus if you don't. If you're married versus if you don't. So I think it's a lot more organic making friends that you are almost like a year later, like, wow, we've been friends for a year. That's weird. You know, when you're older, as opposed to when you were younger, you needed those friendship circles almost to kind of help define who you were.
You're also going out a lot when you're younger. I'm finding that I'm starting to get friends again through my kids. So like when I set up did you say no, Al? I see Jeff shaking his.
I made a face. I made a face because that's super embarrassing. What I was gonna say, Sam, and this is for our viewers.
And Jeff is shaking his head in agreement. If I'm going to set up a play date for Sophie, if I'm going to go to school functions, I start to get to know their parents. It doesn't mean that I just automatically become friends with one of them, but as I meet her friends' parents, I've actually been like, oh, they're cool. Mark and I are like, we're going to go to dinner with them. So I think then you have some common interest.
That's not fair to Sophie. That's not fair to Sophie.
Why isn't it fair to Sophie?
Because if you start to like, what if Sophie doesn't like their kid and now you like their parents? So you're forcing their kid on Sophie because you're trying to hang out with their parents.
Why would Sophie be having a play date with someone she doesn't like?
The kids fall in and out of like, you know how it is.
I think Sam's point is well spoken. You decided to move to the same neighborhood. You put your kids in the same school. I think there's some commonality there. That makes sense.
And our friends and our kids are friends.
We live in the same neighborhood. Yes, we're like blood brothers.
We're a transient city.
That's not really commonality.
Okay.
Probably 1 million people live in this county.
All right, Albert. I'm going to call you Albert.